Hey guys, I'm back with another video. This time we're starting a new sketchbook and I wanted to show you the process I went through to decorate the front and basically just kind of fill out the first page with whatever I was feeling at the moment. I have quite a number of stickers in my arsenal, which is the reason why I just totally went above and beyond with decorating the cover of this sketchbook. In the past, usually I was more minimal with it, but with this one, I have accumulated just so many stickers from various artists or just picking up a pack here and there if I was out and I saw a cute pack, so I was like, I need to use these. But that was the intention in having most of these stickers anyway. I was sort of just saving them for the next time I wanted to put them on a sketchbook, so the timing of that and starting this sketchbook sort of aligned perfectly, creating this beautiful mosaic of stickers that we will see completed in a minute. A lot of them I don't know off the top of my head, but if you have a question about where any specific sticker came from, I can certainly answer that for you in the comments. Unless I can't. I know just about where every sticker came from except that Miu Ichigo sticker. That was actually a gift that was given to me, and I don't know the artist who created that sticker, so that is the only one that I'm actually just not sure about. How do you guys like to decorate your sketchbooks? Do you wait until you've worked in it for a period of time before you start decorating the cover? Do you decorate the cover right away? Do you decorate with lots of stickers like I'm doing here today, or are you really minimalistic with it? Or do you decorate the inside cover instead? Or do you decorate with stickers at all? Or do you paint on your sketchbooks? I've seen a lot of people paint on their sketchbook covers, which I think is super cool, and I think that's a fun idea, but then I'd be like, well, what do I do with all my stickers then? Well, I guess in that case I could decorate the inside covers with the stickers. Anyway, so I'm pretty much finishing up here, and I love how it turned out. I am just so, it makes me so happy to look at it, and it makes me really motivated to work in. It's so sparkly, like it just reflects the light so well. Anyway, now I'm going to write the number sketchbook we are on the spine with Posca pen, and we are ready to get started. Okay, let us open it up, and in the inside, first thing I want to do, well, first I have to rub the blank pages because I just have to do that. And now I am putting down the date that I started the sketchbook, and then below that will be a spot for me to put the date that I finished the sketchbook, whenever that may be. I don't want to rush to finish this one. I sort of want to take my time with it, but I also don't want it to last forever. So I think the only happy medium solution would be to just consistently, organically work in it every day to the best of my ability, and then it'll get finished when it's finished. No big deal. Alright, we're finally ready to begin working in the first page. Okay, so now we're seeking out a reference because that's always a good idea before practicing drawing anything. Should always draw from reference. So for this first page, I just wanted to pick out a few subjects to practice drawing. Obviously, first here we're working on a pair of hands. I didn't want to make it too precious. I didn't want to make it like a standalone illustration. I also didn't want to make it like a welcome to sketchbook 7 type of illustration either. It was just, those are nice. I like it when people do those, but for me, I just can't do it in my own book. It just gives me vibes of like, welcome to my twisted mind. And I just think the way I prefer to start my sketchbooks is more of like getting right to the point, which is to say not necessarily prettying up the first page, but just kind of hitting the ground running as far as studies or random fluff. Just kind of the stuff that would normally be seen in my sketchbook. I just sort of start the first page with that too. I mean, the first page of my sketchbooks is more often than not like a little bit more on the polished side, just because I don't know, I can't just start it out with like some scribbles, then it's just discouraging for me even to like continue it. I don't know, I gotta start strong but also start hitting the ground running at the same time. It's a delicate balance, but I feel like I did a fairly good job here with this one. I will say that one constant through the first pages of each of my sketchbooks is that I do stay fairly within my comfort zone as far as what I choose to draw. And then in the subsequent pages I'll get more experimental and venture a little bit further outside my comfort zone, but the first page usually is a safe space for me to just be like, okay, just draw what you like, and then we'll go from there. So I asked you guys on Instagram for some suggestions for what to talk about during this voiceover, which thank you very much for your responses, by the way. They've been very helpful, especially at the point in the video now, which seems to happen a lot, where I just sort of blank out and I'm like, I don't know what to talk about anymore. But thanks to your kind suggestions, that's not gonna happen this time. In a way, this is sort of like a preview to next week's video, because next week I actually want to do a formal artist Q&A, and I'll be asking for questions for that video in the comments section of this video, and maybe I'll make a community post about it, and maybe I'll make another Instagram story too. But for this week's video, I'm just going to talk about some things that people wanted to hear me talk about. Except one common thing that was asked. I noticed quite a number of people asked about my method for coming up for the designs of my OCs, and since that has a vested interest and also it's kind of poised like an actual question, not just like a talking topic, I think it might actually be better saved for next week's video. So look at that, more hype created for next week's video. I hope you look forward to it. One thing I will talk about this week though is about some recent books and movies I've enjoyed. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to talk about this. So I'm entering my reading era and I have been so into books lately. Okay, so I just finished a trilogy of books that I've literally been reading for, I would say, close to a decade. I think I had to have started it in like late 2016 or maybe 2017, and I just finished it like a month ago. Okay, so that's not quite nearly a decade, but still, it was a very long time that I've been reading this trilogy. I have to say, when I was a kid, I loved reading so much, but then after numerous reading assignments and required reading that we all go through with school, my love for reading unfortunately fizzled away over time until now. And as an adult returning to reading, this trilogy that I aforementioned really, I would say, got me back into reading. And I let myself take my time because I think at the time I was sick of being rushed into a book when I just wanted to pick up a book and just go through it at my own pace, which I did so. And it took 6 or 7 years. But anyway, I still enjoyed the ride. It was great. And now I'm ready to move on to different books. And I'm planning on reading them at a much faster rate. Before I tell you the name of the trilogy, I just have to mention this first. Can we admire the eyes of the cat that I'm painting right now? I love a good cat eye. When you compare a cat's eye and, for example, a goat's eye, I mean, it's kind of hands down the winner. It's almost not fair to the goat, but goats are really nice too. It's just I can't look at their eyes. It's just a little bit too creepy for me. Like, if I ever met Mars in person, I just would not be able to look directly in her eyes. I'd be able to look at her beautiful galaxy hair or her horns or any other part of her face, her freckles, but I could never look at her eyes, and she would probably be like, well, why can't you just look at me in the eyes? And I'd be like, girl, I'm terrified out of my mind. I cannot look anywhere near your eyes. Mars isn't necessarily a goat, she's actually a ewe, but all bovine eyes are the same. I just don't like how they're sideways. Ugh, I just can't think about it. It makes me so scared. I would happily pet a goat on the head, or I would hold a little baby goat, but I will just look everywhere else except its eyes. Believe it or not, that was actually another topic that was suggested for me to talk about, was goats, so that's how I was able to creatively slip that in there. Anyway, by now you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, just what was that book you were talking about? Just spit it out already. And okay, gladly. So the book trilogy that I was super into for the past 6 or 7 years was the 1000th Floor trilogy by Catherine McGee. My favorite thing about it was the world building by far. Oh my goodness. So basically it's about a futuristic New York City. The whole city is a 1,000 floor building, and the rich people live at the top and poorer people live towards the bottom, and the POV follows 5 main characters, and it's super interesting to see how each of their individual stories can intermingle with each other, and there is twists and drama and all sorts of good stuff. The characters were good. I think they were very well developed. I wasn't necessarily attached to a lot of them, and I don't know, I was lukewarm about the characters, but I liked them. I hope that makes sense. The world building was excellent. Catherine McGee has such a talent for building the world around you and describing the new technology that they would have in this futuristic society. It was just a very entertaining and interesting read. So yeah, I recommend if you're curious about it. Yeah, the 1000th Floor. I enjoyed it very, very much. I also sobbed at the end. That's not a joke. There was one line that it was just a combination of what was happening in the story, and that one line, it hit me so hard, and I had to put the book down and just cry for a few minutes. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so by the end of it, I guess I was pretty invested in the characters and their stories, but yeah, it was very good. I liked it a lot. And now what I'm currently reading, which I'm actually almost finished with, and I literally have 4 chapters left and I cannot wait to finish it. It has been such a treat so far. I've been reading Tress of the Emerald Sea, And wow, I've been seeing this book recommended a lot, and a lot of people are saying it's like a 5-star read and everything, and that's what made me curious about it. And another thing that made me curious was hearing that the author was inspired by The Princess Bride when he and his wife had watched the movie, and he had written this story like privately just for her, and she loved it so much, and I guess like his family was like, oh, you have to publish this, it's so good. And I'm very glad he did, because wow, it was such a treat to read. I don't want to spoil anything, but in short, it follows a girl named Tress, and the boy she loves is taken captive at sea, and she's like the only one who cares enough to save him, so she gathers the courage to just go off and save him herself. And it's a really charming story. It's so well written and very highly enjoyable. I very much recommend. I forgot I'm supposed to talk about movies too. I can talk about movies. I watched a few good ones lately. So recently my fiance and my mom and I have been having little movie nights, and they have been just like the coziest thing ever. And we watched Kiki's Delivery Service, which was so precious. I love it. We also watched Your Name, which was really good. We watched The Prestige, which was very mind-bending. It was kind of like Inception, like you really had to pay attention. And we watched Pride and Prejudice, which I enjoyed so much more than I was expecting to. It was really good. Okay, well, I'll quit rambling for now because we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching me fill out the first page of this new sketchbook. I have a full tour of my previously completed sketchbook going up soon on my Patreon, and I have a lot of other goodies there too. If you considered supporting me, I would be just so thankful, or if you just subscribed here, that would make me happy too. Thanks for watching, bye!